where all players are welcome and where anything is possible. So thank you to the Crew Social, Exchange, Discord, Reddit, and all of our players. We've got a little something for you in-game to show our appreciation. It's the 67 Volkswagen Beetle, so let's see what kind of Hollywood twist you can put on it. That's it from me. There'll be more news dropping over summer, so keep your eyes peeled, starting with this.
Isso é foda, né? Se pegar o cachorro colocado lá
Não,
é que boa criança, né?
Caralho. É, celular.
Vai ter bem mais coisa, quer dizer, mais.
Nossa, eles fazem de tudo.
In case you missed it, make sure to boot up the game right now to unlock the amazing 69 Volkswagen Beetle that was just shown in the video. And stay tuned in the near future for more info about Year 3 of the Crew 2.
Pô, parece que fez
Our next video is from our second indie guest, Bossa Studios, who will be injecting a delirious dose of fun with Surgeon Simulator 2. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Nate from Bossa Studios, and I'm a senior game designer on the upcoming Surgeon Simulator 2. So at Bossa, we're always keen to share game development knowledge, and Ubisoft has been a fantastic partner in this. They deliver lectures on procedural content development and player science. And in turn, we share with them the ideation process which brings me on to Surgeon Simulator 2, where we really doubled down on the physics-based pandemonium that the series is notorious for. And we pretty much expanded on every other aspect of the game as well. This time around, you're no longer just a floating hand confined to the operating table. You're actually a full first-person surgeon with an entire medical facility to explore. And in addition to the levels that you'll find in story mode, you'll now be able to create your own unique levels and experiences using Bossa Labs creation. It's a really easy to use and intuitive set of tools that allows players to create either on their own or in online multiplayer with up to 3 friends. Everything players create can then be uploaded and shared with the community, and here surgery really is just During our closed alpha period, we've seen players create all sorts of amazing stuff, from bowling alleys to space stations, pirate ships to horror-themed escape rooms, and this is before the game is even released. So we absolutely cannot wait to see what players create when we launch the game this coming August. And in fact, if you pre-order Surgeon Simulator 2, you can receive exclusive closed beta access.
So for those of you who are just joining us, you are watching the pre-show, and Ubisoft Forward will start once the countdown on your screen reaches 0. And make sure you log into Uplay to unlock rewards as you watch the main event. Now, our next segment is about an Easter egg in The Division 2, so let's go behind the scenes with the devs from Ubisoft Massive Studio in Malmö, Sweden to find out more.
Running through collapsed buildings, climbing over fallen debris, and encountering makeshift living spaces is common for players of The Division 2. Within its post-pandemic environment, many players have spotted something a bit more unusual, which has left them asking, what's up with all of these rubber ducks?
Ah, verdade.
So there's a thing in programming especially where you talk to a rubber duck, and it's a way to solve your problems. If you talk to a rubber duck and you just say things out loud, it helps. One of our artists decided to take this to another level, and he used the rubber duck scaled up to like a ginormous scale. He put it in the level just to remind him to do something, and it sat there for a while. And the rest of us kind of really loved this giant rubber duck sitting there for so long. We decided to put a little memorials to it across the world. And then we started adding stories to them. So there's one where these 2 ducks are sitting on a bench having a date together. There's another one somewhere where he's sitting with an umbrella hiding from the rain. The idea of the ducks is similar to the rest of our storytelling, where we're trying to add some hope into the world. Because you're coming in as a Division agent to try and save what you can and rebuild, but you need to know there's something there to save. So having bits of happiness lets you know like, it's still worth the saving for these little happy moments.
One shrine in particular became a beloved fan favorite, showing up multiple times across YouTube and Reddit.
So, Karen, how was your day?
Well, Luke, it's been productive.
So the origin story of productive, one of our level designers did an amazing pun one day, and we decided to make a graffiti out of it and put it in the game, and it became like a duck shrine, and players started finding it and wondering where it came from.
We've been finding these rubber duckies all over the map. It says here on the wall in graffiti, productive, and there's a large rubber ducky, bigger than all the other ones we've found, and he's got bottles of booze all around him. Not only that, but he has a couple soldier duckies guarding a parrot in a cage. But there's more duckies in Division 2.
What's really great about our community is they come together. They find a common thing that they want to develop or find or get unlocked, and they just put time and effort into it.
We don't put them in easy to find places, so that means players are genuinely, hopefully enjoying just exploring the environment and finding those little Easter eggs we've hidden around, and also not the Easter eggs, just the main part of the game and all the storytelling we put into it. I haven't found all of them. I don't know exactly how many there are, but they haven't found all of the ducks yet.
Encouraged by the community's response to the ducks, developers recently hid another secret in the game and made it the focal point of an all-new community challenge.
We actually put Tommy the teddy bear into the game. Well, Tommy the teddy bear is a trauma teddy mentioned in a lot of lore, but the bear itself actually was not in the game. With episode 3, we put a bunch of them into the world, actually opened up Easter egg hunt for him specifically.
It's a nice little exciting moment when you kind of open Reddit and you see someone's found the thing that you kind of just snuck in under the radar. And no one really knows about it, and some of the players are really clever. There's some hard Easter eggs that some of the level designers and gameplay designers have put in, and people have managed to solve it with no help whatsoever. Gamers are smart.
So now that you know, be on the lookout for both the ducks and teddy bears next time you boot up the Division 2. We now have our final indie guest, Thunder Lotus Games, who were the 2017 winner of the indie series that took place in Montreal. So let's find out more about the beautiful coziness of Spirit Fair in this next video.
Hey everybody, I'm Rodrigue, marketeer at Thunder Lotus. We're an indie studio based out of Montreal, Canada, and makers of the games Jotun, Sundered, and our new game Spirit Fair, which is due out later this year. For the past 6 years, we've tried to make AAA quality games with a hand-drawn indie art. Hitting a quality standard consistently in game dev is a huge challenge. There's so much trial and error on the path, and during the Sundered production, we were lucky enough to have the Ubisoft Entrepreneurs program in our corner to help us reach our goals. As co-winners of the Ubisoft Indie Series in 2017, we received not only generous funding, but also crucial mentorship and access to the Ubisoft testing facilities. So we're grateful to Ubisoft for their support and helping us make what would become our biggest success to date. We've taken that experience with us onto what is our most ambitious production yet, and that's Spirit Fair, which we're calling a cozy management game about dying. In Spirit Fair, you play Stella, the newly appointed ferry master to the deceased. And as Stella, you're going to build a boat, you're going to explore the world in search of spirit passengers seeking passage to the afterlife. You're going to spend relaxing quality time with them, you're going to create lasting memories, but ultimately you're going to have to learn how to say goodbye to your cherished friends. It's a game that's near and dear to our hearts and something really special. We can't wait to share it with the world later this year. So look for it soon on PC, on Xbox One, PS4, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox Game Pass. Thanks a lot, and cheers.
It is time for an update on our favorite motorcycle platform with insanity, pain, and triumph we all know and we all love. Trials Rising came out last year, but I think the team from our Red Link studio in Helsinki has a little surprise coming to the game for the fans of the franchise. So let's take a look.
Hi, we're here today to introduce you to an exciting new endurance challenge coming to Trials Rising. But to make sure that we respect social distancing guidelines, Auntie and I decided... What? Fire the goose? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Giga Track.
Tem, até 4 pessoas.
Apart from a remake of the classic track from Trials Evolution, this is an all-new journey across the world of Trials Rising. By far the longest track that we've ever put in a track.
Então, esse aí eu não joguei ainda. Eu joguei o outro, o Rising eu joguei.
By far the longest track we've ever put in a Trials game. The Giga Track will take you across many different environments, from the iconic...
Não, porque isso aí é uma foda, pra minha mente ser foda o jogo. Pra mim é nostálgico, porque lembra aquele joguinho que nós jogávamos, tá ligado? Só que era 2D, né? De motinho, tá ligado?
The Giga Track is like life. It starts and it ends and it's long. Depends how you enjoy it. And also one secret thing. 4 tells the answer.
É muito foda, velho.
Prepare for the ultimate test of Trials endurance. Giga Track releases this Thursday, July 16th, for the low price of...
Oh, louca, de graça, caralho!
Giga Track will be available for free to all Trials Rising players when it releases this Thursday.
Emocionei até.
A pessoa tá saindo correndo já.
You heard that right, the Giga Track is coming to the game and it will be the longest, most insane track in Trials history and it will be free for all Trials Rising players.
Ah, tinha que vir uma farpada na cara, cara.
Ready to share some details on their upcoming update. AI teammates are coming to the game. Let's have a look at the trailer.
Vai jogar igual aqui.
The time has come. AI teammates are back in Ghost Recon Breakpoint. And for all solo players, they're going to be a game changer. Available at any point after you have reached Error 1 for the first time. Fury, Fix It, and Vasily can be activated or dismissed at will. And from the beginning, you will be able to fully customize them. This customization includes all of the physical attributes, as well as gear, equipment, or even full costumes. Your teammates can be tweaked just as much as your main character. Just like Nomad, your teammates will adapt and react to the world of Aroa and its environments. And they will always follow your own behavior. If you decide to go stealth, they will equip silencers and crouch, or go prone when possible. But if you decide to go loud and open fire, they will stick by your side. When deployed, you can issue different orders to your teammates through the order wheel. There are 4 different orders you can give to your teammates. You can tell them to regroup on your location, to hold their current position, to go to a specific location, and to open fire on nearby enemies. These orders can be given at any time, even through your binoculars and drone. Once they approach potential threats, the teammates will notify you and mark them automatically.
Got a hostile.
With a good look at your enemies, you will be able to set up a sync shot where each of your teammates picks a target. You can even link it to your 3 sync shot drones.
Você podia jogar sozinho, por exemplo.
Oh, esse é eu, hein? Parabéns.
Você podia jogar sozinho, né? Por exemplo, quando jogava sozinho, só colocava os caras pra matar lá.
And a primary weapon that you will be able to find too. Indeed, apart from mark upgrades and passive bonuses, the full gunsmith is accessible to your teammates, and their weapon of choice will have a direct effect on the battleground. Depending on the type of weapon they have equipped, the teammates will adapt their engagement distance and rate of fire, from close distance shotgun wielding, all the way to long distance sniper shots. Of course, if you get taken down, your teammates' priority will be to try and rescue you. To achieve that, they will first focus their fire on the surrounding enemies before getting to you. And they will expect the same from you, especially as you will be able to carry them to safety if the situation requires it. Finally, the teammates will also be your best allies in any field, especially on the road and during high-stake pursuits. The teammates will be available for all solo Ghost Recon Breakpoint players on July 15th, and we cannot wait to see your reactions. We'll see you on the battlefield, Ghosts.
Mano, se eu tiver que zerar de pistola, eu zero, velho. Se for, não vou.
Hey Ghosts, I'm Grace from the Ghost Recon team. As you've just seen, the AI teammates are finally landing in Ghost Recon Breakpoint with our next major update on July 15th. Alongside the AI teammates, this update comes with a ton of new content, including a gunsmith upgrade, new PvP content, quality of life updates, and more. You will be able to try it all during our next free weekend from July 16th to July 20th. But that's not all, we've got one last thing to show you. Enjoy, and we'll see you on the road, Ghosts.
Uma minigun você tem que comprar com dinheiro real mesmo, tá ligado?
Speaking for the outcasts. We stand against Sentinel's illegal occupation of Aroa. We call on the people of Aroa to join us. Separated, Sentinel wins. But united, we cannot be defeated.
O opalão com minigun?
Sim.
Battle Royale dele.
Olha, já
Você deve ser tipo o Ghost War, lembra que tinha lá?
Ah, é.
Deve ser o Ghost War daquele lá, tá ligado?
Eu joguei um pouco, achava legal, and now our very final video for this pre-show is another episode of our wow moments comparing the craziest and coolest clips from you, our players.
Aquele negócio lá do tier, né, que tinha quando você tinha.
Nossa, o do tier
velho. Ah, qualidade.
Caralho.
Tá louco, vai ser mais coisa.
Ah, esse aí é as jogadas da comunidade.
Caralho!
Que foda. Parabéns, cara. Nossa, poder, velho.
Ai, sim, senhor, cara.
Caralho.
Caraca.
Foda. Ah, quem que é o Valhalla, cara? Eu falei.
Parece. Eu ia falar.
Se fudeu,
Parece Broforce.
Não, Rainbow Six.
I was gonna interrogate him. Oh, you can interrogate this guy though. Oh, okay.
Coitado do cara.
Ué, matou o cara, né?
O cara tá ali, ó, tá vivo. Caralho.
Meu Deus do céu. É que tinha tanto corpo ali no chão, né?
Ah, do grupo.
Ah, quando você transforma no meio da... Ah, caraca.
Nossa,
não.
Só consigo lembrar do Jogar Nerd.
Matou tudo.
Não. Não, o cara foi humilhado, coitado. Nossa senhora.
So there's a line that people want me to yell. But I can't usually do it because I'll freak out my neighbours. But, as you can see, I'm at the Crash in Ocean Beach, and there's no one too close, so... Reloading! Someone told me, I gotta go.
Ele é dublador dos carinhos lá do...
Eita porra!
Nossa, que cagão!
Ah, é dublador?
É, dublador.
Como assim?
Ué?
Beleza?
E pô, tá tocando com os pés também, tá ligado?
Tocando baixo com os pés. Olha lá.
Tocando duas? É, tocando na mão e tocando baixo com o pé. Eu tô maluco, caralho!
Caraca, eu não consigo fazer nenhum direito, eu vou fazer os dois.
If you also have amazing gameplay segments you captured from our games, spread the joy and submit them on the link displayed on your screen right now. Alright guys, it is time for us to wrap up this pre-show.
Don't forget to stay tuned for our post-show featuring a deep dive into the world of Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Thanks a lot for watching this pre-show and enjoy Ubisoft Forward.
Valhalla, ele mandou?
É. Pô, é o trailer.
Deve ser o trailer, né?
Acho que é um trailer, né?
This is Ubisoft. This is Ubisoft.
Esse é um bait.
Explore our worlds.
Meet the devs.
Por favor, mostra Woody.
Ah, vai ter rotativo.
Join us.
Existe de verdade esse jogo, né? De boletim.
Hi everyone, I'm Neelam Kumar, and I'm very excited to be co-hosting the first Ubisoft Forward with the talented Yusuf Magid. Today's show is all about getting up close and in-depth with all the exciting games we have in production here at Ubisoft.
I'm
Yusuf, but there's no time to waste. So let's head straight for the streets of the futuristic London. See what the hackers of Dead Set can get into.
The illegal painting spreading subversive and hostile messaging over the last few weeks across London are not the work of several people as was originally believed, but the work of an individual. Criminals suspected to have links with the terrorist group Dead Set and masked Authorities recommend not to approach the individual.
First, they came for the foreigners. I did not speak out because I was not a foreigner. They came for the protesters. And I did not speak out because I was not a protester.
Que louco, né? Porque assim, parece live action, né? Mas computação gráfica no tempo, né?
Ah, deve ser mesclado, não
I did not speak out because I was not a journalist. And then they came for street artists. But I did not speak out because I am not a street artist.
Ah, tá de sacanagem.
Não, sabe o que me tá me lembrando um pouco também, além do Aranha Verso, tá ligado? O Love Death Robots também, aquele episódio lá da menina, tá ligado? Viu? A explosãozinha da frente da plateia ali, cara. É o mesmo traço do bagulho lá do Love Death Robots mesmo.
No one left to speak for me.
Não sei.
Já é outro que entra na... Ai, meu Deus. Já é outro que entra na...
Where are we off to, sir? I'm showing the way! Okay, sorry, big Jesus! Alright, so we're in a total mess now, so let's get the hell out of here!
Não, trailer os caras não manjam fazer, né, velho? Que pariu. Que massa, cara.
And there's nothing more debilitating than that. This way, you'll be able to do what you're passionate about.
After a long night, London is in chaos.
Ah, galera aí, né?
Well. Welcome to the Resistance. Here's a welcome gift for our new members.
But the disappearance of the criminal...
You could have told me it was a bloody costume party.
Try it on.
The new key suspect has been identified as David Ford, a 43-year-old London taxi driver. He has no criminal record, but is currently believed to be a terrorist. People have been asked not to approach him.
Nossa, bem feito pra caralho. Reclaim your future.
Reclame seu futuro?
Reclame, uma coisa assim, né?
I'm Clint Hawking.
Clint has been a long-time creative force here at Ubisoft, and now he's bringing this vision to Watch Dogs Legion.
So what we just saw was an amazing short film by the director Alberto Mielgo that was inspired by Watch Dogs Legion and looks at the game and the universe and the characters through his incredible artistic vision and visual style.
The
city needs resistance.
Like the film, Watch Dogs Legion tells the story of ordinary heroes setting aside their differences in order to come together as a collective to fight for a positive change. You can literally recruit and play anyone who you see in the open world. You profile people that are interesting to you, you help them with their problem, you play their origin mission.
Just help me get some closure and I'll do whatever you want.
Sounds like a DedSec problem. Leave it to us.
And that's how you recruit them into your team. And then they become the heroes of the game and the stars of your story.
And what are you doing in my flat? You with Albion?
Please, think more underground.
You with Albion?
I'm tickled, but think more underground.
What, DedSec? Yeah, right, and I'm Che Guevara. You're done.
And they make the story not only, unique to them, but unique to you as the player and personal to you because they're, heroes that you've chosen and invested in. What would I say to fans? I guess I'd say, take care of yourselves, stay safe. Welcome to the Resistance.
Our London town. A modern metropolis, built on history and prosperity. Only took 12,000 years to build it up, and one night to tear it all down.
Oh my God. Listen up. Get all your units to move in and lock down the city.
With London under attack by a mysterious terrorist, the government turns to a private military company called Albion to keep everyone safe. What could possibly go wrong? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Nigel Cass, CEO of Albion. He's kindly stepped out to establish order.
Understand
Not even myself. Jeopardize this.
Não, deve ser que é o grupo, né, lá, os caras lá.
Control the city.
London will be the first city in the world to be made truly safe.
Nigel's not the only opportunist who's taken a liking to this fair city. Meet Mary Kelly, head of the most powerful crime syndicate in London.
Be sure and spread the word.
She and her goons are using the dark web to sell everything, from party bills to people.
This small picture is scary, I know, but I got to keep track of our merchandise.
You make me a slave.
You do not want to ruffle her feathers. With the city out on its arse, it now falls on you to build a resistance and take back London.
All right, everyone. Faces on, guns out.
Any of the brave Londoners you see walking the streets can be recruited into your team. Like him. Her. Or even her. Everyone could become your next secret weapon. In our first mission, we need to get some dirt on Nigel Cass, and that means breaking into Albion headquarters inside the Tower of London. All the hardy souls you see here are people we have recruited from the streets of London. They all have unique abilities, and you're free to tackle this mission with whoever you like.
Got my eyes.
Zip
up, get to work, and let's never talk about this again.
Everyone in DedSec, Arthur can hack pretty much whatever. But as a construction worker, he has a particular set of tools that make him handy. He can even call his own cargo drone. Perfect for gate crashing, when you're not invited. And who needs a regular old gun when you have a bloody nail gun?
Pois é. Ai, pega no sovaco, puta que pariu. Nossa, que foda, a melhor arma, cara. Então é, cara.
Perhaps we could approach this mission differently. If you'd rather keep your distance, we've got you covered.
Outra pessoa, cara.
Amy is a drone expert.
Que foda, que foda.
What have we here?
A real tech connoisseur.
Aí é só do stealthzão, né?
What an adorable creepy crawler.
Here we are. Let's class the place up.
A drone expert does have the unique ability to summon their own drone. This little darling is fast and stealthy.
She aimed, she fired, she hit.
I'm reading incoming drones. She can also hack enemy drones, turning the tide in her favor. And if you are not into direct confrontation, there are more ways than one to get the job done. Recruiting an Albion officer like Brielle here might be challenging, but it'll get you inside restricted Albion areas.
Don't mind me. Just doing recon for a bunch of insurgents.
However, do anything suspicious and she'll probably wind up with a bullet in the back of her head.
Provavelmente. Não, dá pra derrubar de dentro daí o bagulho? É.
I can get the defense minister on the line.
Nossa, que foda, isso eu acho muito massa. O estilo de abordagem. Era o que era pro Wildland ser, né? Os tipos de abordagem é diferente, né?
Criminals running our streets, illegals threatening our families, the police commissioner himself, assassinated by terrorists.
Well, that seems to be enough evidence. Next up, we're crashing Mary Kelly's organ farming operation and putting a stop to it.
That's good. The buyers expect
and we need a hard nut for this.
Impairing our frontal lobe again, are we? Bags, don't disturb me in my natural habitat.
Say hello to Mickey. The man lives for his team.
Putting up a hair on the chest.
And doesn't mind getting his hands dirty.
Tá na mão, né?
He does have a slight drinking problem, though. He's passed out. We'll come back to him. You know what? Let's go with someone a bit more professional.
É.
It's almost crass to call him a hitman.
Até a música do tá falando na voz do John Wick. É? Eu não assisti, velho, o play. É no mesmo lá, tá ligado? Mas tem no caso do Dion lá.
Artist.
Nossa, o cara é safado, velho. Não é o cara, né, mas...
Here's the bastard.
Oh, não, foda pra caralho.
Done and dusted.
Fala, Juzuka, e aí, bro?
Not everyone in London is a legendary assassin or a super spy, but everyone can be a hero.
O Watch Dogs é muito foda, filme da luta, né?
So find the best recruits and build your resistance.
Caralho, material de fora.
Take back London.
Nossa, vai ser foda pra caralho. Puta que pariu.
The Order não.
Plunging the player into a living, breathing city, teeming with unique locales and characters, has always been a central pillar of the Watch Dogs series.
So what goes into building those worlds? Here's Amanda Mudd to tell us more.
Não, agora sim, eu tava com a hype mó baixa, tá ligado? Eu pensei, mas esse negócio.
My name is Amanda Mudd. I'm a level artist on Watch Dogs Legion at Ubisoft Toronto. Being a level artist, I think, is the coolest job in video games because we do get the freedom to kind of like pick and choose what details we want to depict. And we get ample opportunities to tell the stories that we want to tell in the spaces that we're assigned to. I have the capacity to hide things and, you know, like small little Easter eggs. In AC Unity, there was a boat somewhere in the world that was covered in cats. And then it happened again in Watch Dogs 2. And there may or may not be something in London that is a boat filled with cats in some capacity. So. I was fortunate enough to go to E3 last year. Some of the people that I was showing our demo to were from London, so no matter where I dropped in the city, they go, oh my god, this feels like Camden, this feels like Southwark, this feels like Westminster. When people are talking about some detail that I've put into the world and they're excited about it, like that feels so good.
Far Cry 6 não sai esse ano mesmo, né? É fevereiro, verdade, tá? O rumor é fevereiro. Não, é que tipo assim, os três é o Valhalla que vai ter esse ano ainda. Tipo, os três caras lançam dois jogos.
And now some news for Brawlhalla fans. In just a few weeks, you'll be able to battle it out with your favorite legends on iOS and Android devices.
Nossa, vai sair pra celular, que foda. Aham.
Faz sentido?
Que maneiro.
3, 2, 1.
Eu falei pra nós jogar junto lá, galera.
Já tem o passe de batalha, né?
Não, mas tem, cara, tem campeonato dessa porra aí, tá ligado? Caralho, que maneiro. Nossa, aí é foda. Nossa, que foda. Não, e é massa que ele sempre tem uns eventos. Tempo atrás tava rolando um evento da WWE, tá ligado?
Nossa.
Aí tinha o John Cena, o The Rock, rolou da Lara Croft, daí tava rolando do Ben 10 agora.
And now,
é muito
whether
foda.
you need a Tom Clancy action fix on the go, or want to dive back into one of the most beloved fantasy franchises in gaming, we've got you covered.
Vai em médico. Nossa, esse jogo aí é sério, mano. Esse jogo deles aí.
Se quiser trazer um remote,
pode ser, pode ser.
Não é mais nem é só o óleo que já era.
Ah, vai ser pro celular.
Ó, o cachorro tá se lambendo ali, vendo se tem energético ali.
Caralho.
Que ele achou, sério? É assim.
The target is being held on the ground floor.
Ah, o Red Dead. É a caveira do problema. Ele...
Ô, louco!
O menino santador, não foi ali?
Sim.
Ah, desceu aí? É, desceu outro jogo que tem então já. Ele quase. Então é armadura, né?
Contact! Moat chain is down. Request air support. Target northeast rooftop.
Roger. Inbound, danger close.
Não, os caras não colocam. Olha o Fischer ali. Caraca, que foda, cara.
Get back in your cell!
Oh!
Tá, o cara veio isso aí?
Vai saber, né? Cara,
isso é o Fran.
Eu tinha visto essa música do Fran ali, essa caveira.
Don't make me regret this.
Que louco! São clientes dele de squad.
Deve ser multiplayerzinho.
Que louco!
É, deve ser multiplayerzinho.
É de celular.
Ah, bom.
Speaking of Tom Clancy, it's been 5 years since Rainbow Six Siege first launched, and the community has never been stronger. In celebration of this milestone, Ubisoft Montreal has put together a special video to thank all of the amazing players and developers that have helped Siege become the game it is today.
Cara, cagou tudo meu óculos, mano. Nossa.
Eu vi que o cara baixou lá, levou meia hora o cara voltar.
In December 2015, a small team released Rainbow Six Siege. A game built on a strong vision, creativity, competitiveness, and team play.
Tem novo já, tá ligado?
Combinaison, c'est un début, mais pour nous aussi.
Tipo, eu não ia jogar, eu ia
s'engager ce jeu est installé, tu peux t'y installer aussi, et nous serons là.
That original vision was quickly adopted by our passionate community, propelling it to a whole new level.
Isso aí
da tem 10 anos, né?
This is such a special moment. And being at the 1 year anniversary of Red Bull 6 now, it's bigger than ever.
But we also had our share of challenges.
Health that touches upon subjects like matchmaking, connectivity, all those aspects are absolutely critical to the experience of the player.
Through it all, we're always driven by you, our community, and together, we grow stronger.
There is no sequel plan, and we are here for the next 10 years, so expect more Rainbow Six in your life for quite some time.
Ele fica piscando, gosta de dormir, né? Você fica reparando.
Vai dormir, olha o cabelo baixando.
Não, deixa eu foda.
Se ele sentar, vai dormir.
Eu não sei, isso aqui é tão cozido que ele dorme, mano.
C'est vraiment le résultat de autant de nous que de vous. Ce jeu, il est autant le vôtre.
Nossa, fala em francês, porra, tá doido? O cara tá falando,
We have
caralho.
60 million players strong.
Nossa,
We're just getting started.
Caralho, falando em francês. Caralho, que merda, mano. Tá doido o cara aí, porra.
From the devs that build the game to the community that plays it, thank
Foda,
you.
né?
O Jack.
Jack Ryan? Nossa,
Já
nossa.
passou lá o atentado lá.
Ah, foi foda, né?
60 milhões de players.
Qual?
If you haven't tried it yet,
Qual
dive into
tá?
our new
Caralho.
Operation
Hey,
Awesome. See out for a spin.
Não, da França, né?
A few days ago, we introduced y'all to a brand new multiplayer
Qual que é?
shooter.
Fala aí.
Now, it's time to venture into the hyperscape.
É por quê? Pô, tomara que os caras tragam pro Brasil logo essa porra, velho. Que inferno. É, porque tipo não.
Eu acho que eles vão lançar agora, vou falar agora.
É porque tava rolando a beta, mas não tinha que no Brasil a beta disponível.
What was that? A hack in the hyperscape.
Aí esse gráfico.
That's not supposed to be there.
Ah, vai ter uma historinha.
Let me get you all up to speed, okay?
Vai ter historinha.
Não, mas quase vai. Acho que não.
Everything that we feared about our future started to come true. We made some good decisions. We made some bad decisions.
Olha aí, ó.
Vai chutar essa
Volta
boca
de
pra você
do
ver.
caralho. Mano, vier pra vaga, pior que tem mesmo, mano, isso. Já tá rolando essa
10
merda.
billion souls living in the flesh of the megacities.
Elas são tipo presas, assim, né? Estão no normal lá, só que eles podem tipo, viar no pasto, algo assim, pra produzir mais leite, tá ligado?
Meu Deus.
Não, é muito escroto.
They gave everyone a way out. The hyperscape.
Que foda. É tipo o jogador número 1, né?
É, tipo isso.
The biggest draw by far is Crown Rush. This is where anyone can become someone.
Não, tem um cara que me parece o João Boyega, mano. Ele, o Sim, tá ligado?
Vai mostrar, vai estar dentro do computador dele. Caralho, ele é massa, velho.
Não tem.
Caralho, ele é massa.
Não,
só tem
o que é o campeão, mostra só.
If you get good at Crown Rush, it can change your life. But strange things have been happening lately. Rumors of people getting hurt. Users disappearing from the real world. A darker secret lies at the heart of hyperscape.
Vamos deixar montada a lore do jogo,
and we have to find it. Some of us are searching for a way up. Some of us for a way out. And for others, a new way altogether. That's what brings us to the edge of the future. To the hyperscape.
I'm JC, Creative Director on Hyperscape.
JC's work on Far Cry Primal and multiple Prince of Persia titles has established him as a top creative here at Ubisoft.
For me, what's exciting is we started building it from scratch, seeing it grow.
Hello, contender. Welcome to the Hyperscape.
The game takes place in 2054. It's in a future where humanity has grown a little darker. One of the companies there, they are launching what's called the Hyperscape, which is a virtual world, and the internet of the future. It's a place where everything converges. Within the virtual world, there is a battle royale that takes place in the virtual city of Neo Arcadia. Then we also introduce a lot of new things. You get the opportunity to do parkour on the rooftops, go into interiors where it's much more narrow, much more stressful. You get to go to the landmarks where there's more opportunities to get cool items, but also more players, so it's a risk-reward kind of deal. We introduce the notion of hacks, special abilities that you can pick up on the fly to adapt your tactics. With hacks, you can do things like teleport yourself, you can wrap yourself into a ball and bounce around the battlefield. A lot of abilities that let you have fun, that are toys that you can play with. Finally, it's made as a spectacle, so all the viewers will be able to interact with the game on different levels through the Twitch extension. So every few minutes, there's going to be a vote, and viewers will be able to decide what effect they want to affect the whole battle. So things like changing the gravity, infinite ammo, or stuff like that. So players, while this happens, really have to adapt to all kinds of stuff that is happening. For me, it's really exciting because right now, as we speak, we're launching the open beta, and so it's going to be available for free-to-play for all PC players worldwide. I really want to thank all the players, all the streamers, all the viewers who participated in the tech test and who participate in the open beta. Here's a short glimpse of what
O COD lançou muito foda e é de graça, então foda-se, tá ligado?
Não, fala assim...
Eu tô curioso pra ver.
Eu sei. Do Hyper...
Watch and learn how it's done.
Ah, se a gente acertar
nossa, quem der, nossa, o de cima que vai matar, tá ligado? Tipo assim, o cara que tá na desvantagem que mata.
Let's show him what I'm made of. Go time.
Olha, vai se fuder. Não, é foda. Você, tipo assim, é igual aquele meme. Você trabalha lá 12 horas trabalhando, tá ligado? Você chega lá, jogar o seu joguinho, aí tá o cara que tá 12 horas jogando, tá ligado? Ele te mata. Pô, vai se fuder, cara.
Os caras que só fazem isso.
Quando eu atiro sempre no tronco.
É foda.
Eu nunca lembro de atirar na cabeça.
Play the beta o quê?
Não, no PC não, tá ligado? Vai ter o Open Beta agora. Ô louco, ó, que massa, vai ter 30 tiers do passe.
The digital world of the Hyperscape gave our artists and developers incredible freedom when it came to designing characters.
Production manager Ana Maria Musca is going to take us behind the scenes of character design.
My name is Ana Maria Musca. I'm the production manager for characters and weapons on Hyperscape. We have paid an exceptional amount of detail to our characters. We source different outfits, different fashion statements, different tattoos, different materials until we see them as real individuals. As the second you pick a character, you see them in game, you understand what their motivations are and what drives them and what challenges them. This was the first lineup of characters. This is our default base, but even starting from the hair down, everything has been meticulously thought of. Would this person actually like this type of outfit? Would this person enjoy this type of tattoos that we're really like to be in this part? Each season we plan to produce new outfits for these characters, so we're hoping some of our players are gonna see the effort and maybe even correlate some of the accessories to what's going to happen in the game. We're very excited to see it in people's hands.
As we move into the next generation of gaming, Ubisoft has been working closely with console makers to take advantage of all the extraordinary capabilities these new consoles will offer.
Now we have a special guest to tell us a little more.
Hey everyone, Phil Spencer from Xbox. With Watch Dogs Legion, Ubisoft is supporting smart delivery, so you will get the absolute best version of the game on any version of Xbox you're playing on. In Series X, you'll get to take advantage of the amazing work the team has done with DirectX ray tracing to create an absolutely immersive version of London like you've never seen. Ubisoft has the unique ability to create immersive worlds, setting a new bar that continues to drive our industry forward. I'm a huge fan of Assassin's Creed. I love the time I've spent exploring the world in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I can't wait for you to see the gameplay from Assassin's Creed Valhalla that's coming up now.
Coming out.
Alright, we know you've been waiting to hear more about this game since it was announced back in April. And now it's time for a deep dive into the world of Vikings.
My name is Julien Laferrière, and I'm the producer of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So a couple of weeks ago, we announced Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and the reaction from the fans was just amazing. The time period of Vikings is really inspiring. When we did our research, we found that they were not mindless barbarians. Vikings were actually farmers trying to find new lands for them to settle. And so they had really human motivations. So for us to have this opportunity to tell kind of the real story about Vikings and kind of separate ourselves from the myths and the folklore is really something that drove us to make this game. The team went to Norway and England to take the same roads that the Vikings did, to really experience what it meant to be a Viking at that time. And then leaving Norway, which is barren but majestic, and just coming by boat and see those rolling green hills full of sheep, full of life, is just this moment that most likely the Vikings felt as well. You need to see this land of opportunity. And this is exactly the feeling we want players to experience in this game. It is a personal adventure, you know, it is the story of Eivor, a Viking chieftain. Eivor is either a male or a female. You decide what he's going to do. They will have to leave Norway to settle in England because you just can't live in Norway anymore. There's too much political pressure, no resources available. Obviously, in England, it's full of Anglo-Saxons and other people, and they don't really want you there. So you will have to fight your way there to kind of build your own settlement and see your clan prosper. Vikings were brutal warriors. And the fact that they were mastering a lot of weapons coming from the medieval times really inspired us to kind of revamp the fight system, to leverage the brutality and the intensity of Viking combat. Vikings were not only fighting face-to-face, they were masters of stealth and deception when needed. They used basically any sort of tactics they could use to win the battle. So we want to portray the full range of combat that you can imagine coming from the Vikings. We are very happy to finally be able to show you the game we've all been working on. So please enjoy this deep dive into Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Falando em inglês.
Work in progress.
Acho que não é a mesma lá.
Não é.
In Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you will relive the epic saga of the Viking invasion of England. Here is Eivor, a Viking from Norway, who will lead his or her battle-hardened warriors across the North Sea to the British Isles. Eivor is driven by an ambitious goal to build a thriving Norse settlement in a hostile land.
vai fuder, né?
and warring dynasties. A land of opportunity and
Ô, louco, mas que recolhida foi essa aí?
Pearl England's rivers by
Pega um manto, que é tecnologia que vocês não
You may
têm.
raid locations you
Escolhe
spot.
foguete assim, cuzão.
Espirrou na água.
Ground your ship and blow your horn to lead your raiding crew into battle.
Ah, tem que queimar, né? Apagou inteiro.
Eita!
Mas vai queimar, meu, essa vez vai queimar mesmo. Porque não é se você tacar fogo, não é, sei lá, fica só
Nossa,
fogo
e
aqui, assim,
revive os caras,
Your
mano.
crew will assist you in all your raids,
Seus amigos
fighting
caíram,
enemies,
Nossa, aí o inferno já.
battering
Ô,
down
louco,
wars,
mas...
and stealing cargo too heavy for one
Alçaque, né? Tem que
supply.
ter, né, mano?
A prata, né?
Whatever
Yeah,
riches
yeah,
and
rapaz.
resources you pillage may be used to
Só que a
develop
vila
your
pra
settlement,
pegar nada.
giving you access to useful
Ah,
services,
que nem
better
sabia.
tools, and new settlers.
É, assim,
At the heart of your settlement is the Alliance map. It will serve as a record of the allies you have made,
Ah,
and future
que
opportunities.
foda.
The Viking Age was a time of warriors and legends.
Ah, então, ó, isso que eu queria ver.
You will
Você
find
tinha
the
lutar tipo,
largest
contra outros
variety of
vikings, tá
enemies
ligado? Tipo,
ever
outras facções,
assembled in
igual
an
tem,
Assassin's
né?
Creed game.
Facção contra facção, assim. Nossa, driblou!
Caraca, Ronaldinho!
Driblou, foda!
Essa que massa, velho.
Some will
Smash,
coordinate with their allies for special attacks, while others will use nearby objects to their advantage, including the bodies of
Nossa, aí que
fallen
foda,
warriors.
velho.
Cara, jogou um outro.
To face these
Tá lembrando
attacks,
o
you must find and
de
exploit your
batalha
opponent's
do-
weaknesses to gain the upper hand.
For Honor?
Take the
Ah,
fight to your foes with a host of brutal new
Olha os
combat
machadinhos.
options.
Ô, louco,
Ai,
Pummel them with
papai!
throw axes.
jogando machado, que foda.
Incapacitate them with the new stun system to keep them at a distance, or finish them off.
Moleque, bonito.
Dual
Ali tem
wield
isso.
any
Aí, ó.
two weapons you wish to unleash a deadly
Alô?
combination of attacks.
Ei, ó, o Tiago começou a quebrar as
É. Olha que foda a Morningstarzinha ali.
Customize your fighting style as you see fit,
Que maneiro.
and
Só
become a
tô pegando fogo, gato, você do
legendary
outro
Viking warrior.
meio.
Ah, mas ela tá com uma faca na mão
All
e outra
combinations of
com
weapons are
martelo.
available to
É, ela tava com
dual wield,
martelo.
including two
É, você
shields.
falou que pode equipar duas armas, né? Uma em cada mão.
Olha lá, dois com escudo.
Ai, que foda.
Ai!
Nossa, virou com pouco.
Not all situations call for
Ah, o
violence.
gorrinho aí, ó. Tem que
In
ter, né,
this new
mano?
land, a Viking must find a way to adapt.
Ah, ô, que foda. Poder se misturar com a galera de volta dos antigos.
You may need to outsmart your enemies,
Que legal.
avoiding unwanted attention in
Eu queria
towns
achar
and bustling cities.
super
Um grupo de toco, todo mundo se...
De
Use
toca.
Eivor's hood and
De
climb
moletom.
around
Foda.
crowds, and slip
Fazendo,
past
disfarçando ali,
watchdogs.
fazendo
An
uma
unseen
ruga, né?
hunter among the people.
Nossa, que foda. Vai tomar no cu. Não, cara,
From
tá muito
capital
escuro,
cities
cara.
and villages to the dense forests and rolling hills of England, exploration is vital to keeping yourself sharp.
Olha que The Witcher.
You must feed off the land if you hope to enjoy
Olha
it.
esse cara, que foda.
Hunt and forage.
Ah, tem que ter os bichos... É, os bichos lendários. Olha
Search
que
for
gente, que foda.
temples and Roman ruins for new activities and challenges to strengthen
Ó,
yourself
só os
and your
bandos ali, ó.
settlement. The more you explore, the more of England's secrets you will reveal.
Olha o lixo aí.
É. É, agora
Nossa,
é.
But
Agora
as
vem,
you
né?
push deeper into England, the enemy will push back.
Ali é machão,
Assassin's
hein?
Creed Valhalla will feature massive battles
Isso aí
in
eu
which
achei
you
demais,
lead
ó.
Eivor's army into battle against
Ah,
heavily
que foda,
guarded
virou
Saxon
óleo.
fortresses.
Today we will reclaim her. Today we fight for your land. And tomorrow we rebuild.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla will transport you to wondrous and haunted lands, inspired by Norse myths and England's pagan roots.
Ah, esse ali é o... a pedra do poder, ó.
And
Eita, porra, olha o tamanho.
with unforgettable
Ó, parece
characters,
o...
thrilling
Aquele rei
triumphs,
lá que...
and
Veio da
tragic
Noruega, lá da
losses,
Vikings, lá, lembra?
giving you
Tem o
the
irmão
chance
lá... que
to make your
morreu.
own Viking
É o
saga.
Ralph, não, né? O Ralph Dunn, pra mim.
O que foi isso aqui, ó? Arrotando? É arroto, eu acho.
Tudo pra frente e faz dela, né?
Não, é.
Se fosse por aqui, né?
17 de novembro.
9th century England is truly unlike anything the franchise has seen before.
Muito foda.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla will release this holiday season on Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, PS4, PC, and Stadia.
We're close to wrapping up today, but before we go, our CEO, Yves Guillemot, is here to share a few words.
Não vai sair na Steam, então?
Na Steam, não?
I hope you will have enjoyed what you have seen today, and that you will love playing these games. I'm proud of our teams for delivering an ambitious, broad and creative lineup of games. And we haven't shown you everything yet. In fact, we have a lot more to come. So you will have another Ubisoft Forward to reveal even more about our upcoming games. But before ending this show, we have one more thing to share with you.
Tá assistindo a live? Não, tá assistindo o bagulho lá, né?
Fala pra ele entrar na nossa live, pô.
Essa música The Witcher, velho.
Eu quero esquisito! Eu falo Far Cry. Ai, caralho!
É abertura de novela, isso aí?
Nossa, velho! The Crew? A bala. Caraca, é abertura de série, bagulho?
Não, é novela, abertura de novela.
A Coca, né?
TT, entendeu? Ó.
Christian Ochoa. É, Michael Mando.
Se aparecer ele, já sabe.
É. Caralho, olha.
Espera, isso. Uia, rapaz.
É bonito, hein? Nossa, aí é bonito.
Ô, nossa chão.
É, vai ser.
Liberdade.
Olha que tanto, mano.
Que foda, velho. Vai tomar no cu.
Nossa!
Que foda, velho. Que foda.
Eu quero saber onde que vai ser, velho. Será que eles vão falar alguma coisa onde que vai ser?
Nossa, parece uma série, velho. Vai se fuder, mano.
Opa,
não sei espanhol.
Já sabe, né?
Nossa, que foda, velho. Televisão, série mesmo, velho.
O moleque tá ouvindo.
Caralho.
Cala a boca, velho.
It's beautiful, amigo. Perfect.
Vai de onde, né?
I have something for you.
Caraca, perfeito, mas inútil.
Give me your hands. The grenade is simple. It has 4 basic parts. The shell, which contains the explosive, the fuse, the handle, and of course, the pin.
What are you doing?
Caralho, velho.
Breathe. The pin simply holds the handle in place. It is only when you let go that this grenade goes boom.
Ai, ai, ai.
Follow me.
Meu Deus.
Que é isso? Caralho, velho. Como assim?
Now.
Caralho, mano.
Eu não ia nem respirar.
I am El Presidente, which means that someday you will be El Presidente. And our people, they do not know how to be happy. They are torn apart by opinions, noise, indecision, strangled by their own freedoms. And even if you have love in your heart, even if you want what's best for them, if you only want to save them from themselves.
Caralho, aí. Como é que eu ali?
They will hate you, Diego.
Vamos dar moleque jogar lá no bagulho, né?
Believe will be wrong.
Nossa, que massa o lugar. Ô moleque, minha atenção, caralho.
They will answer you screams.
É isso, é cinemática mesmo. A gente achou que podia ser o cara real, mas é. Qualidade, velho, cinemática.
A monster. And give you this.
Vamos ver o que é que
So you tell me, are you evil? Are you a monster? Because our country is like this grenade, except it has two basic parts. Our people and you must clutch them nice and tight, or we all go boom.
Caralho! Nossa, expressão dele é muito foda. Foda, mano.
You understand now?
Como criar um ditador assim, né?
Prove it.
Não é, isso aí, agora beleza.
Sabe qual a definição de insanidade?
É, em fevereiro, 18 de fevereiro. Caralho, isso é um belo trailer.
And with that, we're wrapping up our first Ubisoft Forward.
Merda, fechou com
Nossa, esse cara
Today, we've seen the next generation of Assassin's Creed, the birth of a resistance in Watch Dogs Legion, the cyber chaos of Hyperscape, and the epic reveal of Far Cry's newest installment, along with so much more.
Remember, we'll be back later this year for another Ubisoft Forward filled with tons of game news and updates.
Thanks for joining us.
O máximo de ficar zoei pra trás.
Beleza? Opa,
opa, que isso?
Ah.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Ubisoft Forward post show. My name is Yusuf Naguid, and this is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. We're going to take a deep dive into about 30 minutes of gameplay, and we're joined by a very special guest here.
Hey everyone, this is Benjamin, otherwise known as Fizz. I am the quest director on Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
So Fizz, we're sitting up here for what looks like an epic encounter. Tell us exactly what's going on.
Yeah, so here we're midway through the quest that we're showing for you. Here we're looking at the assault of Burg Castle. So these are big moments that usually sort of culminate at the end of the story. And so here Eivor, our Viking raider, is taking a group of raiders and Fyrds into Burg Castle to go and take down Rued and his clan.
So who exactly is Rued, and why does Eivor sort of want to pick a fight with him?
Basically, Rued comes into play about halfway through this story arc, where at the beginning of the arc, this is something that happens before. Rued basically caused a lot of turmoil within the territory, and Oswald, who's the sort of elderman to be to inherit this territory, needs your help to take him down. Oswald having just been defeated in a previous quest, and so here this is revenge, but also accomplishing your ultimate goal.
So Fizz, as you're talking, we're seeing some of the combat of Valhalla. Can you tell us a little bit about the changes to combat this time around?
We wanted to basically add a lot of new mechanics to it. So we added like some dual wielding for the player, like a stun system in there. And we really needed to do this to sort of portray that sort of the brutality that comes with being a Viking in this day and age. So it sort of fits into that the time and the character.
O que vai dar pra, tipo, personalizar a roupa, essas coisas? Vai dar, né? Cabelo.
Is that you? Shut your ass, twig spine.
Here, Eivor has taken her entire army through the assault, and finally it's revealed that our Elderman, our ally, Oswald, is still alive, and Rued has him captive.
Personalizado, visual. Não?
Today, fighting over a filthy
Esse
Saxon horse.
que tá me mostrando interessante.
This spine is your prize.
Não, Odyssey, a Odyssey não é lixo, né?
So now that we've seen that Oswald is alive, we have Rued within our sights. What's the next step here?
So the next move for Eivor is to finally face off against Rued. She has her allies, they can take care of the rest of the army. Now it's time to go one-on-one against Rued in one of our boss battles, actually.
Deve ser dos caras, né?
And it's worth pointing out, actually, that here what we're showing is the player going and facing off against Rued aggressively, but we tend to always have to support a 360-degree approach in these things. So the player could have approached this a little bit more stealthily and gotten at least like a good critical hit on either Rued.
Minha live.
Hã? A live é nós, tamo aí, a live é nós.
Vai começar a quinta série de ontem daí.
Hã?
Vai começar a quinta série de ontem.
Don't worry, we will be giving. Nossa,
É, mas esses torres não queimam pra caralho. Vou pegar mais cerveja, reload.
Vou pegar uma cara. Não, ainda tem aqui. É, aqui não tá logando ainda. O que é isso aqui, mano?
Ou já era, né?
Uhum.
Entrar às 12 horas da manhã.
Não, a gente deixou um recado aqui, tá ligado? Ó, tipo, don't worry, tipo, we'll be giving out the herds to all of you, todos os... É, ele falou que parece que eles vão dar, tá ligado? A... Tipo, vão dar tipo, recompensa, tá ligado? Igual, depois. Eu tô me assistindo, não sei, sei lá também.
Before we get into that, I want to rewind a little bit because we just did this big grand assault, but Eivor couldn't have done it alone. She clearly had to recruit some folks along the way, get some troops, get some allies. So let's actually rewind and see how we went about first gathering those troops.
So when coming up to an assault, it's a game of numbers. Eivor can go into pretty much any location and be a game of numbers. Eivor can go into pretty much any location and be a stealthy Viking, eliminating some of the assets, which ultimately would be a strategy. You can do that, and you'll have some of the ingredients or of the assets that will have been sabotaged, but you still need an army. So here what we're seeing is Eivor going around the countryside and raising what we call a fyrd, which is the men and the women of the territory who come up and fight in the name of a king. So here Eivor is going around and trying to convince people to fight in the name of Oswald to finally take down the oppressor that is Rued.
Defending East Anglia, defending you. Will you not do the same?
What? Die in defense of a lost cause?
Yeah, so she's really using like the image and like the leadership that Oswald had, what he meant to the people in his name. She's going to recruit these people.
Pretty well changed.
So we're told by this read that there are troops, there are allies that he could add to our cause, but first we sort of need to do him a favor, is that right?
Yeah, so obviously these people have been run down by Rued and the impact he's had on the territory, so I think a lot of these people have sort of lost hope. And so you need to show them that there is hope. And so here Eivor is basically helping them take back one of their prized locations by taking a couple men and raiding a nearby township, basically taking it back for the people and showing that there's a reason to continue fighting and then get them on your side. when Eivor does this, obviously you have access to a full suite of abilities. So again, the improvements that we've done to the fight system. You have some brutal axe throwing in there. You have archery or like ranged combat abilities in there as well. So really, again, like depending on what your playstyle is, you can customize your loadout and go in there how you wish.
Isso não tinha na hora que eu entrei, parece que eles vão dar depois igual, né, pra quem assistiu a parada,
just saw
né?
this giant pulse go out. What exactly was that?
So that is what we call the Odin sight. The Odin sight is basically our interpretation of the eagle vision from previous games. So we thought it was good to sort of bring that back. It's basically Eivor's intuition. It's how she perceives the world. When Blair uses that, it'll highlight basically interactive objects, like things that will bring her an advantage. So we'll have arrows, like health consumables that are in there.
Só de amanhã não poder trabalhar. Vou dormir até umas 9.
Aham. Aí das 6 horas da manhã você tá mandando coisa no
Tomb, né?
No Instagram.
No Tomb Raider.
Já tem 2 trailers? Ah, é que tem a abertura e o... Vamos ver de novo certinho, né?
Então, não mostrou nada da como vai ser a cidade, né? Então...
Pois é.
Vai ser selva e tal, né? Provavelmente também, né? Porque o Far Cry tem essa temática, né? De você poder caçar os animais, pegar as pedras.
Acho que vai ser em Cuba.
Já falou, né? Depois tem a Yala lá.
Onde que é a Yala?
No meu mapa aqui, ó.
Aqui, um pouquinho pra esquerda aqui, embaixo da mão.
Shakira? É a Shakira mesmo? Shakira Barreira? Será que é Shakira?
Jason Canela.
O que você tá olhando assim tão bonitinho pra mim?
Série mesmo, se fosse a abertura de uma série...
Nossa!
Novela?
Não, novela... Não existe uma novela.
Não, mas poderia fácil ele jogar uma série, cara, sei que, olha. Não, e não tem, né, cara? O cara nasceu pra ser vilão, né, velho?
Ele é muito bom, velho.
Ele é muito bom.
Sim. Não, parece que ele aceitou o papel de ser vilão, né? Porque todas as paradas dele ele é vilão.
É, tem gente que enche o saco, né, velho? Eu não quero ser só. Cara, tipo, porra. O cara é foda, mano.
The Boys, Breaking Bad,
Mandalorian.
E agora ele no Far Cry.
Ai, que neném.
Ele é massa, cara.
Não, ele é muito bom. Não, velho, o que ele fizer eu vou assistir, mano. É aquele cara que fica aqui, ó, tá guardando aqui, tá ligado?
É muito massa. Cara, eu tinha visto uma parada essa semana que ia sair... Ah, o filme lá da Disney que vai sair com o Bryan Cranston lá.
Do massa.
Do gorila lá.
Ah, a capinha ficou massa, mano.
Sim.
Tem que vender, né, mano? Deixar o cara na capa, porque, porra, fazer valer a pena o bagulho.
Fuerzas ultrapenetrantes, estamos cansados de los farsantes.
Mas realmente, parabéns pro moleque, né? Montar a miniatura dessa aí, porque você pariu, hein?
Deixa eu detar a pistola ali.
É.
Cara, que pistola.
Ele vai tipo...
Pistola e com sono, né?
Que saco, tá?
Perfect. But useless. I have something for you, dear.
Queria ver em espanhol, não tem? Espanhol?
Não tem espanhol.
Vai lá pra Espanha?
Esse é o idioma do cara, caralho.
México, é. Vai estar em inglês também?
The shell, which contains the
Sabia a legenda em espanhol?
the fuse,
Não, ele
the
fala em
handle.
espanhol.
Mas ele vai mandar ele o presidente ali, olha, tonta.
Não, e nem na série o cara falava espanhol. Quer dizer...
Ele falou o Dom Eladio, só isso não vai matar a Walter White, às vezes aí, tá ligado? Nesse momento, né?
Only when you let go.
Nossa, mas a qualidade da cinemática vai tomar no rabo, tá ligado, velho?
Fala, a Ubi tem que fazer uma série.
Não, por isso que eu falei,
Tem a Jack Ryan lá, né? Mas faz outra série.
É. Ah, e nem é deles, né?
Ah, é verdade.
Tom Clancy nem é deles, né? Tipo, eles só fazem o rolê, né? Mano?
Eu ia falar, não, nem é da Ubi, né? Do Tom Clancy.
Não, mas é do Tom Clancy mesmo. Cara, já escreveu?
Não, mas não sei se o cara ainda é vivo, sabe?
Não mais.
Eu quero saber, cara, como que vai ser, velho. Porque tá pequenininho, tudo bem, ele é um vilão. Vai jogar com esse cara.
Provavelmente não. Provavelmente não. A gente vai jogar com. Eles falaram já o nome do cara lá. Tem até o nome. Tem até o.
Mesma coisa.
If you only want to save them from themselves.
Só que aí vai ter mais cidade. Porque nos outros não tinha tanta cidade. Assim.
Eu lembro que tinha um prédio, tá ligado?
Will be wrong.
Não, me lembrou, sabe o que? Da Light. Esse pôr do sol, você toma ali.
Menino, por que você passa lápis no olho? Ah, esse isqueiro, mano. Que é esse isqueiro?
Tinha que ter pra vender, né?
Nossa senhora. Isqueiro do Giancarlo Explosivo, tem que ter assim, tá ligado?
Ou o charuto dele.
Evil.
Que sapato, hein?
And give you this.
Não, é tipo assim, nossa, cara, ele é foda, vai tomando porque assim, é bem aquele discurso tipo assim de vilão, que tipo assim, que quase te faz você entender por quê, né? Tipo assim, nossa, tipo assim, os caras é com uma granada, tem que pressionar os caras, né? Então, tipo, pô, você tá ligado que tá errado o bagulho, tá ligado? Mas, nossa, é foda.
É, que nem lá no console lá. Porra, o cara manda aquele negócio do cachorro lá, pro pai.
And you must clutch them nice and tight, or
Você tá te incomodando?
we all go. Boom.
Raiders não tem nada. Você vai ter esse cara. Agora que me mostrou.
Mostrou mais que o cara, né?
Prove it.
Né? Não, a melhor forma de cortar o trailer, né? Tipo...
Joga pra cima e vê.
É?
Joga.
Esse é o final.
Não, ele jogou assim de cano pé.
Então esse aí é o final do jogo, é como eles morrem, né? Daí...
Cai assim e rola pra trás, atrás deles.
Como acabou o Far Cry, né? Tipo isso aí, né?
Faça pré-compra agora para conteúdo bônus. Vamos ver quanto que tá lá. Vamos lá ver quanto que vai estar.
Eles devem ter aqui na loja.
Tem? Olha aí.
With a lot of time left to earn, phase can get rolling.
Ainda tá rolando online?
Tá,
tá.
There. So
Eles estão passando o gameplay lá.
Tá rolando gameplay, né?
Then you're speaking to fools and their knowledge is flawed.
But how exactly do you go about being successful in one of these?
the trick behind a good flight was to choose the right insult, identifying the right cadence, and then trying to find what rhymed the best.
I'm known for my might.
Nossa, o franguinho.
Tá de sacanagem, velho. Olha o franguinho, ó.
Tem um galinho, ó lá. Os galinhos cuspiram o
Cara, filho da puta, mano.
Os folhas, irmãos.
Then you've clearly misheard them. My wit is immense.
Não, o Play tava dando doping, não fiquei não, né? Mas que é a versão mais pica, né?
Don't believe everything you hear, unless it touches on my flighting. Then heed every word.
Take the coin.
So now that we've proven our sharp tongue and wit, I think it's time for a bit more relaxing activity. So we're fishing here.
Yeah, that's it. So we gave Eivor a fishing line, so you can actually throw the line and go catch some fish. This is used basically to play into our new health loop, where the player will lose health in the world, and it doesn't automatically regenerate mass. So you actually have to go out and get some supplies. So you'll find mushrooms and some food that you can gather. But here, like you can also catch some fish and consume that to regain some health. We also will sometimes have it in certain quests, so it's a good way to sort of chill out on the side of the water and just again take it all.
Nossa, olha lá, tem um cachorrinho de roda mesmo, mano. Olha o cara carregando. Ai, que dó, meu Deus.
So this is what we call one of our offering altars. So the idea is that you find these around the world and you make offerings to it. So it'll take like animal parts and stuff that you can find throughout the world. Here what you're seeing though is sort of like a fancy version of it where as you do your offering you get interrupted by some kids that basically come and steal your stuff. So it's just a way for us to sort of showcase that like the systems and the activities in the world can sort of play in with some quests and some little events. So it's our way to sort of dress up these moments and make it all fit inside the whole experience.
Yeah, this seemed like a really sort of unexpected turn for what I thought was going to be kind of a simple interaction.
Yeah, and it's really what we were trying to do with these events is to give another dimension to Eivor, other than just the pure rar Viking or the politician, because you can imagine at some point that will grow old if you're always telling that version of the character. So it lets us really go into the depth of who is Eivor, what motivates her, how she can interact with the world outside of warfare and politics. And it also showcases like a different facet of the world. So it just widens the breadth of the stories that we can tell.
So who exactly are these two children?
These are kids of East Anglia. They are going through tough times with whatever route it's been doing to the territory. And so they're just here trying to survive and basically exploit the people that are there to make offerings.
It was kind of nice to see that Eivor wasn't really necessarily upset at them for stealing, and after you talk to them, you have a choice of helping them. You can give them food, give them some money, or just say, "Hey, good luck, on your way."
Yeah, and then this is something we also wanted to do a lot. Like, so here we're doing an event, we do a quest as well, but we want to give a lot of this agency into players' hands so that they can sort of shape Eivor a little bit, who she is, or represents them a little bit more, and they can roleplay that a little bit better. And again, it just gives her like a little bit more humanity in these moments.
We should do provide for small walkers.
Here, large walker.
A necklace?
Yes, it's a St. Martin seal.
Pintado de quê?
You're
É
welcome
barro,
here
bosta?
anytime, large walker.
Barro e bosta.
You're one of us now. Visit us,
É
okay?
pintura de saia preta, você acha que é o quê? Guache? Não é guache.
Não é guache.
É barro e bosta.
So I think AC veterans might recognize this here, but what exactly is Eivor chasing down?
Yeah, so here you're seeing Eivor running down her tattoo images. So this is challenging the player on free run abilities, but also for fans of the series, sort of pulling at their heartstrings for some more features.
So are we going to be able to tattoo Eivor?
Yes, by collecting these tattoos, you actually bring them back to your settlement, and then you can customize different body parts, having different tattoos everywhere. So again, another form of expression, and it's sort of to represent that Viking culture.
Fizz, one of my favorite things when I was just out there exploring East Anglia was coming upon a house or a building and realizing that there was a chest inside, but that there was no easy way in. And in this case, I saw all the doors were barred, but I knew that because there was a chest in there must have been some way to get inside. So I went around the back and found a way in.
Yeah, I'm glad you actually caught on to that. You're pointing at something that we wanted to work on a lot on Valhalla, where we wanted the exploration to make you feel smarter. So we played a lot with puzzle solving, so making sure that every house that you find sort of appeals to you, like it draws your attention, and then when you want to come and explore it, it's not given to you. You still have to work for it a little bit, so it'll challenge you on your observation skills, logic, just trying to find how do I get into this. So we play a lot with level design, quest design to offer challenges to players, and you basically come out of it like with a better exploration, but you also get to see more of a story behind these locations which we've crafted. So it gave us a little more time to sort of slow down the experience and tell a different version of the
story. Mas já tá bem adiantado, hein, cara?
Eu não acho que tá ruim, não. Tá bom, não, cara.
a gente sabe que vai ter um monte de bug igual.
Poor victim of someone's fury.
Coitado.
Yeah, I mean, speaking about exploration and just finding things out in the world, I was just wandering and came across this clearing and found this kind of morbid altar.
Yeah, so this is one of the bigger events that we have scattered in the world. So as Eivor explores, she can find altars like this, and by interacting with them here, it's a trap that's been set by this character named Regan. Now, there's a bigger story behind all this. There's multiple steps to it later on. So this is one of the moments. It permits us to go into a slightly more mystical realm and play with a boss fight that has more magical abilities, if we will, and basically have this awesome boss fight in the middle of the swamps. And so here the abilities that you see Reagan using are a little bit on the mystical side of things. What's happening is Eivor at the beginning in that trap is poisoned, and so she starts sort of hallucinating, seeing the world in a sort of different light and filter. And so that's sort of what lets us go into the realm of the weird.
Ele assim, não tá, até para falar isso, mas tipo, não tá tão real igual nos outros, tá ligado? Acho massa, assim, tá um pouco mais arcade mesmo, a parada.
Agora né?
Aham. Nossa, aí tá no rim. Nossa, a arminha é muito boa, é muito foda a arminha.
So we just saw here that Regan belongs to something called the Daughters of Lyria.
Yeah, that's correct. By finding the other daughters, we get a little bit more backstory on who they are, so we don't want to spoil that too much. But it creates like a sort of greater story that is not on the main path in any way, but it's still very rich and adds to the lore of this world and actually plays into history.
So we just had a really exciting, really intense boss battle. I think it's time for something a little bit more relaxing and calming down.
Yeah, it's all about pacing yourself with the highs and the lows. So here we have a low chill moment of what we call building a cairn. So Eivor, as she explores the world, will find these sort of meditative areas where you have a pile of rocks that you could just stack on top of another using physics. And I mean, yeah, the ultimate goal is to try and get the highest pile of rocks, but really it's about taking in the sights, relaxing, taking a step back, and just building something.
Yeah, we stack stones into cairns. These? Yes.
É aquele joguinho de equilibrar as pedras uma em cima da outra?
Ah, deve ser.
Stack the cairn stones high and wide into any shape you like.
I mean, you can spend as much time as you want building these things, making as high as you want, as weird as you want. I'm sure like a lot of these stuff will end up on the internet, like people comparing structures. And the cool thing is that once you've built it and you decide to get out of it, it sort of stays there, and so that's yours, right? And until the moment where you come back and you want to build a new one, it's sort of cool that we were able to give that to players to express themselves.
At this point in the demo,
da ponte de habilidade, tá ligado?
Children, we've broken into a habit of fun. Now it's finally time to go and head off to
Yeah, so this is the moment it's all been building up to. By the moment you get into the territory, sort of like mentioned by Oswald, he's trying to get married with his Dane lady. And so as you go through the arc, that's sort of like the underlying thread. Really, it's about Rued creating turmoil in the territory and helping Oswald sort of get above that and show the key. And so you finally, after going through all that arc, finally get these two together, go through their wedding, they're invited to attend the ceremony, and then all the activities and fun times that come afterwards.
Yeah, as much as we've seen the brutal side of England, it's nice to see the joyous side of it as well.
Yeah, and it's something we really wanted to play on in Valhalla, where being a Viking is not only about being a raider or a warrior. I mean, there's revelry, there's feasting, there's partying that goes, and like if someone knows how to party, it's a Viking. And so here, this is one of our opportunities to show what a sort of Viking gathering is. And what's cool here is that it's a good alliance of Norse culture with sort of smashing these two things together and building bridges.
Yeah, I mean, it's a wedding with a drunk archer.
Tem que beber pra atirar.
Yeah, so anything can happen in a Viking event, right? Here, you just get drunk and shoot some arrows.
Vou dar. Tá achando que vocês são o quê?
Steady all, and ready yourself for the wedding race. The king and his bride against all. My king, he...
So here we see the decision I made to spare Ruud came back to bite us.
Yep, that's the decision you made coming back. So as we said before, all your decisions have consequences, and this is a big one.
I challenge you. I accept.
You're basically presented with the option to sort of step in for Oswald, fight the fight for him, or let him go and fight his own fight.
Yeah, you know, personally, I chose to fight myself because I thought Eivor is the type of person who likes to finish what he started.
Plank by plank, and a dead king cannot keep his oaths. Let me finish this.
Oswald, you gutless
Thiago, do cabelinho ali é o rei Oswald, tá ligado?
I'll slay the wolf guest, then hang you with your own tongue.
Esse aí? Não, não sei. O cabelinho lá.
How does this encounter with Ruud differ from our previous fight?
So at this point, you've eliminated his wolf, so it's just him. And so he's angry at this point, and so he will start using his big gun abilities like fairly early on in the fight. So it's way more vicious, way faster. There's less strategy. He goes literally swords blazing at you. And so this is a fight to the death.
Olha o tamanho da espada, velho.
Também é pesador, então vamos ver.
And of course here, like, this is a decision you made to go and fight him, but there's multiple outcomes to this scenario. You could have let Oswald fight his own fight and prove basically his station as the rightful leader. If you had eliminated Ruud, obviously this would not have happened. It would have been a slightly more joyous occasion. But ultimately, in all scenarios, you still have an alliance with Oswald. He's proven to be the right leader for this territory. And to be a good ally for you.
Não, tem um action figure do Baia, aquele lá do Hoje, também, que ele tá puxando um arco. Cara, o arco é gigantesco. Maior que ele também.
Pô, é uma palestra, né?
So we're about to take off from the wedding, but Eivor decides it's a good idea to check up on her friend Finner.
Yeah, so Finner is probably one of the more recurring characters in this arc. You get to meet him very well. He's a very endearing character, sort of used to have a Viking life, sort of misses it, and going through all these adventures together is sort of like lights that fire back, and so he's willing to join you in your raiders. So he's one of many raiders that you'll encounter in the game, and you can sort of recruit, bring back home, and then have them sort of join you on your adventures on Longship. He can tell you these stories that we're telling you about. You get to know a little bit more about him. So again, it's a fun way to sort of discover more about these characters that you meet and bring them along for adventures.
Together.
I'll gather my things.
Well, folks, we've come to the end of our Assassin's Creed Valhalla playthrough. Fizz, thank you so much for joining us. When and where can people play it?
Assassin's Creed Valhalla will be out on Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, and is coming to Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC, and Stadia on November 17th.
Up next, Hyperscape.
everybody, thanks for joining us. My name is Eric Pope. I'm the Senior Community Developer on Hyperscape.
And I'm Graham Jennings. I'm the Senior Producer on Hyperscape. Hyperscape's now in its open beta, so you can go to play and download.
World's best, não sei o que.
So, a little while back, we did a match for you, so I'll walk through it moment to moment, explain what's going on in the match of Hyperscape. There's a lot going on with hacks, guns, the gameplay. So Graham and I are going to walk you through it right now, and I hope you'll enjoy it.
So at the start now, you'll see the insertion phase. There's the 3 of them in the squad, so they're trying to decide on where they want to go. It looks like Helios, which is one of the landmarks, is going to be one of the choices.
So all the places we're seeing on the map right now with like a name above it, that tends to be a higher loot area, would you say?
For one of the big yellow letter ones like this one, this is one of the landmarks. Landmarks tend to have higher density and higher quality loot.
Which also means most people will be going there, so you might have...
Usually have a few more friends to go to the landmark. So in this case, he's gone outside and he's found a supply crate. So he's starting to use these instead, so he's looking for both hacks and weapons.
Right, so the looting phase, many folks will be familiar with, but Hyperscape, you do have those supply crates that you may be lucky enough to find. And what's the deal with supply crates?
So supply crates are placed around the world, so if you go and find them, and inside them you'll find weapons and hacks. Usually you find slightly better weapons and hacks within them. Here now we've switched, so we're looking at Chimera instead. So he's in the landmark, he's in Helios now, and he's still in the looting phase. As you can see from the red triangle up there, there's actually some friends, or not friends, in there with him just now.
Yeah, so the action gets started. Okay, right here.
Yeah, so he's one-on-one, he's going with the mammoth shotgun against someone who's using the heal hack at the minute, which